Hello everyone! The finale of Tanaka's parents' struggles is here, as usual with the support from the rest of TeruShouEnnoTana. But hey, you know me. You know this is going to be Dashio and Tanaka for the most part. Well, technically not, but yeah. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who subscribe and watch these videos. You're keeping this channel alive and going. Thank you very much, and I hope you will enjoy. The day was as bleak as it could get. The dark clouds hanging low in the sky promised rain, and everything as if went silent, expecting whether a storm would come along. Not a very promising outlook on things, Tanaka had to admit. He wasn't a superstitious one, but looking outside as it quickly turned dark, he couldn't help but wonder whether it was an omen after all. Are you nervous? He forced a smile and turned to Enoshita, letting his shoulders relax at least a little bit when his boyfriend leaned into his side. He definitely couldn't complain about lack of support from either of his partners, but Enoshita's presence had always been like a healing balm. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if I'm ready to see them again. You don't have to see them today. You can text them to leave it for some time later. Tanaka sighed. The closer the time of their agreed upon meeting got, the less he wanted to actually leave their house. Sure, he would like to have the whole thing behind him, but still. It was a big decision, one he spent over a week contemplating about. Talking it out with his boyfriends helped a lot, but now, when the time came, he wasn't so sure about it anymore. However, putting it off wouldn't help anything either. Nah, gotta do it today. I can't run away from it all the time. I wouldn't call that running away. Tanaka had to smile when the budgie, so far perched comfortably on Dashio's shoulder, parted the word away in a pretty solid imitation of Dashio's voice, as if to add impact to what he said. It was incredible to watch the two bond over the 2 weeks' time, and no less adorable to hear Tori mimicking Dashio's voice. She had a surprisingly wide vocabulary, which she never held back from showing off, and Dashio seemed ecstatic whenever they discovered a new word. And most importantly, he looked happy whenever he interacted with the little bird. The only exception so far was today, though all of them were too restless to smile. Even Terushima was much quieter than he had ever seen him. Really, he should get this over with, for the sake of all of them. Yeah, but it still would be avoidance, no? It's fine, I can manage. It's not like I'll invite them over for a tea tomorrow or anything. But it's a big decision. If you need more time, you should take it. Yeah, I know, and I'm grateful you're worried about me, but I promise it's fine. Besides, you all will be there with me. I couldn't ask for better conditions to deal with this. Enoshita gently nudged his side and then leaned in for a kiss, making Tanaka's heart flutter. Truly, he couldn't ask for a better time to go deal with the issue called his parents. Even if he didn't have enough strength to see through his decision to the end, he could count on his partners to give him the much-needed support. Alright, just give us a sign if you need saving. Tanaka laughed at that, possibly for the first time in the last week, and squished Enoshita in his arms, earning a quiet squeal. He wished he could do the same with Dashio, but alas, they weren't there yet. Okay, then let's wait for Yuji to come back and we can head out. He decided to set the meeting place at the same ramen place he met them before. 1, it was a familiar space already, and 2, they could get lunch from it. Terushima was running late, but promised he'll be there on time, and so the three of them headed inside to get a table before his parents arrived as well. Enoshita's idea, to make sure they had all the advantages on their side. Get something to eat in the meantime if you want. Is that okay? You said you want to keep this as short as possible. Yeah, but that doesn't mean we are the ones who will leave first. And besides, it's nice to have a meal after something like this. Despite that, Dasha still shook his head and stayed seated, playing nervously with his fingers in his lap as if he wasn't sure what to do with his hand. Confused, Tanaka took hold of his hand to stop him, caressing his skin to get some warmth into it. What's wrong? If I didn't know better, I would say we are meeting your parents. Sorry, I don't know what's going on, it's just... Tanaka kissed the back of his hand, giving it a light squeeze of reassurance. It's okay. If it's my father you are anxious about, I promise I won't let him anywhere near you. Thank you, but I don't think that's it. I'm sorry, I know I should be supporting you, not the other way around, but... Hey, shh. It's okay, really. Take a deep breath, okay? It's fine. Yeah, whatever scares you, we won't let it get close. To Tanaka's relief, Dasha seemed to relax after that, even leaning into Enoshita's hand a bit when the physician caressed his cheek. And in the end, Tanaka found himself relaxing too. As bad as it sounded, Sugiru's anxiety was easily capable of lifting his own, since only few things could be worse than the things haunting his boyfriend's mind. He leaned back in the chair while they waited for his and Enoshita's order to arrive, rehearsing what he wanted to say over and over in his head. The words had to be chosen carefully to not give way to his parents' demands, or suggest he would allow them more than he planned. It was annoying, to say the least. Just the fact he had to think about all that would suggest he shouldn't go through with letting them into his life again. He snapped his head up when the door opened, his heartbeat spiking when he saw the two enter. He subconsciously clutched Dashiell's hand, the gentle touch and even gentler words helping him settle. Ironic how quickly their roles reversed. His mother flashed him a wide smile, the force behind it making his skin crawl. Ryu, darling, I'm so glad you called us again. She paused, her smile faltering when she noticed Dasha and Enoshita, and Tanaka clenched his jaw. What? Problem? No, of course not. I'm glad we get to see your partners too. It's a family affair after all, right? Don't mind us. We are here as an emotional support. The man seemed to want to protest, but stayed silent after Tanaka bared his teeth at him. If they wanted to talk, they would have to follow his rules. Silence settled among them as the two settled on the other side of the table, stretching further as Tanaka refused to be the first one to speak up. Another of Enoshita's suggestions. Goodness, I'm glad Chika is on my side. So, Ryu, you wanted to talk to us? Yeah, A loud clink of message echoed around, startling all of them to some degree. Enoshita mumbled a quiet apology and checked his phone, his brows furrowing upon reading the message, and then he got up. Excuse me for a moment. What's wrong? I'm not sure. Give me a moment. With that, he grabbed his coat and headed outside, leaving them confused and wondering. The lack of the supporting presence was felt immediately, and Tanaka shivered slightly, once again reaching for Dashiell's hand to ground himself. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this whole mess you created for me.
Ryu.
Let me speak. I've been thinking about it a lot. What you told me and all that. I'm not going to say I trust you, because I don't, and nothing you said or did changed that.
His mother's eyes glossed over, and he could swear he saw despair flash over her face. Please, Ryu, I swear we are telling you the truth. Nothing but a serious danger could make us leave you. Just tell us what we should do to prove we love you.
Just let me speak. I don't trust you because you gave me no reason to. You abandoned us, and that doesn't change. I don't care what the reason was.
He took a deep breath.
However, I'm willing to give you a chance. If you earn it, that is.
It felt so strange to say it out loud, the words leaving a weird aftertaste in his mouth. But there was hope too. Maybe he could make this work somehow. Maybe he could have parents again for real. Maybe.
You damn trash piles of human beings!
Tanaka flinched when Enoshita's voice boomed through the restaurant, the fury in his voice, so atypical for his gentle nature, sending Dasha to his side in apparent panic. However, said fury wasn't aimed at them, but rather at the two sitting opposite. Enoshita marched back to the table, followed closely by Terushima looking similarly pissed. What's wrong?
Ask them why they appeared all of a sudden.
Huh?
Yeah, and ask them to tell you the truth this time.
Baffled, Tanaka glanced at his parents, his heart sinking like a cold stone when he spotted the panicked looks on their faces and several shades paler skin.
Anything to say to that?
Ryu, that's not...
Don't you dare! Don't you dare to whine here when you are just after Ryu's money!
Tanaka froze, the words feeling like a slap in the face.
Isn't that true?
He wasn't entirely sure who he was asking, though he knew Terushima would never lie to him. Not about something like this. Terushima's grim expression was enough to go by.
Yeah, I heard them when they talked outside. How they have to step up their game and convince you to let them back faster because their payment deadline is approaching.
The world around him as if ceased to exist for a moment, leaving him in a dark vacuum. He turned to the two who dared to call themselves his parents, feeling like everything around him slowed down.
Anything to say? Huh? Mother?
We had no choice.
We have to pay them somehow. I see. So all those talks about wanting to reconnect, that was all bogus, huh? That's why you didn't go to Psycho. She would see right through you, right?
They stayed silent, which was enough of a confirmation for Tanaka. He nodded, defeated, unable to collect his thoughts enough to respond verbally. Enoshita grimaced.
Get out of here, both of you. If you ever show up again, we'll call the cops. You can kick us out. This is between us and our son. You have no right to interfere.
Shut the fuck up. At least we care about him, unlike you.
We raised him for 12 years. Children are supposed to take care of their parents, and we need...
You need? How dare you? How dare you treat Ryu like this? You think you deserve his money after what you did? After leaving him when he needed you? How dare you break his heart again? As if Dashiell's raised voice was a cue, Enoshita motioned to Terushima to each grab one of the strangers and together drag them out of the restaurant despite their loud protests. And yet, Tanaka didn't move, completely numb to everything around. The words didn't mean anything. The woman's voice calling his name ground his nerves into dust. The man calling him ungrateful and other choice of words stomped even the last bits of hope into dirt. Even the dull ache eventually disappeared, leaving just an empty hole where his heart was supposed to beat. He should have known better. Looking back, it was clear they had some ulterior motive. So why did the discovery hurt so much? Suguru. Close to getting spooked by how hollow his voice sounded, he turned to Dasha still sitting by his side. I think I need a hug. He didn't have to wait for long before the slender arms wrapped around him, the warm body pressed against his, staring down even the last walls he built for himself. Caring only little for his hazed vision, he pulled Dasha to his chest, squeezing him in his arms as he buried his face into his shoulder. A light shiver ran up and down his back, following the motion of Dasha's hand. I'm sorry. He nodded, sure he would fall into pieces if he opened his mouth. Dasha seemed to understand and continued to gently caress his back without another word, the steady rhythm of his breathing and heartbeat settling Tanaka's mind. They stayed mostly silent on the way home, all as if subconsciously feeling no words could help right now. However, they stayed by Tanaka's side the whole time, for which he was eternally grateful. He only cracked a small smile when they got welcomed by Tori's cheerful tweeting, the familiar sight of Dasha opening the cage and letting the budgie sit on his shoulder dispersing some of the emptiness settled around his heart. Still without a word, he slumped on the couch, soon joined by Terushima, while Dasha and Enoshita headed into the kitchen to make them some much-needed tea. Welp. He paused as if unsure what to say, and Tanaka let out a sour chuckle. Yeah, that about sums it up. Do you want to talk about it? Or rather not? Maybe later. He let himself fall against Terushima's side, melting into his arms when Terushima hugged him. They should talk it through, he knew that. Battling things would do more harm than good. He knew he should call Saiko too, to tell her what the real reason behind their parents' sudden reappearance was. But not now. He couldn't talk about it now. Pity we couldn't even finish the ramen. Soft huff of laughter escaped Tanaka's mouth. Squaring his shoulders a bit, he nodded in thanks when Enoshita handed him his cup, and then smiled for real when Dasha settled by his other side, back to his shy self, but trying his best to help, as always. You know, that was the first time I heard you raise your voice. Dasha blushed, but still laid his head on Tanaka's shoulder, hugging his arm just like the first time he went for a hug from his own initiative. It's been a while since I got mad. You tell me. I didn't think you can even get mad. I can when someone I love gets hurt. They all paused, surprised by the word love leaving Dasha's mouth in this context. Tanaka was first to break the blissful stupor and kiss Dasha's forehead. You're a sweetheart, do you know that? All of you are. He looked up, seeing the most important people in his life sitting around him with nothing but sincere love and care in their hearts, filling him with warmth that didn't exist anywhere else in the world. Thanks for going through all that mess with me. Of course, that's what we are here for. And we are here for you whenever you are ready to talk about it. For real,
I'll gladly yell with you.
Sure you would. Seriously, thank you.
You are doing the same for us.
Hearing that from Suguru stung with guilt, even though he definitely didn't mean it like that. But the truth was, he wasn't there for Suguru as much as he was supposed to in the past. He definitely had to step up more after this. One thing was perhaps dealt with, though not like he wished, but there was still a lot to worry about. They all knew it. But perhaps for today, they could stay together on the couch, relishing each other's presence and not thinking about anything else. Just for today.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Well, who would have seen that coming, right? Some of you did, actually, but yeah, I couldn't resist to end it like this. Or end it for now, at least. I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to this storyline in particular. But yeah, for now, this is the end of Tanaka's parents' struggle. And we are back to Dashio's stalker storyline. I bet some of you are very happy about it. I am too. I can't wait to hurt my favorite baby snake boy again. Yeah, that is not to say there won't be any other storylines present in this ship. However, for now we are going to be going back to Dashio's story and overall, like, his storyline. If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.